How Asian women are challenging bias to carve out entrepreneurial success. South China Morning Post. The post-COVID economy in Asia is creating a new generation of women entrepreneurs, according to an article in the South China Morning Post. However, the report found that 70% of women-owned small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, worldwide lack access to adequate financial services. Women entrepreneurs often face a lack of access to finance, a lack of network and mentorship, limited access to training and education, and cultural biases that lead to gender discrimination. However, the report suggests that hope is on the horizon, as companies in Asia are quickly catching up to diversity standards in the West, and shifting attitudes towards remote and hybrid work are opening up new opportunities for women to balance other responsibilities such as childcare or elderly care. Female representation remains low in U.S. statehouses, particularly Democrats in the South. Associated Press. Democrat Kayla Young and Republican Patricia Rucker frequently clash on abortion rights and just about everything else in West Virginia's legislature, but they agree on one thing: too few of their colleagues are women, and it's hurting the state. There are exceptions to every single rule, but I think in general, men do kind of see this as their field, said Rucker, part of the GOP's Senate supermajority that passed one of the nation's strictest abortion bans, while Young, the lone Democratic woman elected to the House, opposed it. Nearly 130 years since the first 3 women were elected to state legislative offices in the U.S., women remain massively underrepresented in state legislatures. In 10 states, women make up less than 25% of their state legislatures, according to Rutgers Center for American Women in Politics. West Virginia is at the very bottom of that list, having just 16 women in its 134-member legislature, or just under 12%. That's compared with Nevada, where women occupy just over 60% of state legislative seats. Similar low numbers can be found in the nearby southern states of Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Louisiana. Davis's career-high 33 lead Ole Miss women past Florida 84-74 in SEC quarterfinal. Associated Press. Markeisha Davis scored a career-high 33 points to lead the Mississippi Rebels to an 84-74 victory over the Florida Gators in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament. The Rebels will now face LSU in the semifinals, while South Carolina takes on Tennessee in the other semifinal game. Despite trailing at halftime, the Rebels came back in the second half thanks to strong performances from Kennedy Todd Williams and Madison Scott. The teams combined for 70 free throws in the game, with Mississippi converting 27 of 38 and Florida making 25 of 32. Aaliyah Matheru led the Gators with 24 points. A look at Lee's Summit City Council, Municipal Judge and Board of Education races. Yahoo! Lee's Summit, Missouri voters will decide on City Council, Municipal Judge and Board of Education races, as well as Jackson County's question number 1, a sales tax renewal question impacting the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals stadiums. Stanford doctor discusses Steph's ankle injury, recovery process. Yahoo! Golden State Warriors player Steph Curry is expected to make a full recovery from his ankle injury within 7 to 10 days, according to sources. MRI results showed no structural damage, and Dr. David E. Aji, MD, from Stanford Medicine, said that as long as the ankle remains stable, Curry should heal well due to his youth. The Warriors are currently 3.5 games behind the Phoenix Suns, who hold the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Person hit by car at UD Arena minutes before game. Yahoo! A worker was hit by a car at the University of Dayton Arena shortly before a basketball game between the Dayton Flyers and the VCU Rams. The worker's injuries were reported to be non-life-threatening. Number 25 Dayton overcomes big deficit to beat VCU in overtime, goes undefeated at home. Yahoo! The number 25 Dayton Flyers overcame a 17-point deficit to beat the VCU Rams, 91-86, in overtime at the UD Arena. Dayton ended the regular season undefeated at the UD Arena, with a 15-0 record, the 4th time in program history. Dayton's next game will be Thursday in the quarterfinals of the Atlantic 10 Championship at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Virginia governor signs 64 bills into law, vetoes 8 others as legislative session winds down. Associated Press. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin has vetoed 8 pieces of legislation, including laws that would have added restrictions on firearm transfers in the state. Youngkin, a Republican, signed 64 bills into law, including legislation that upholds same-sex marriage in the event that the U.S. Supreme Court reverses its 2015 decision. The other laws Youngkin vetoed would have clarified a law requiring parental notification of sexually explicit materials in schools is not meant to enable censorship, and would have required the State Commissioner of Elections to rejoin a data-sharing interstate compact aimed at fighting voter fraud. Laval Rouge ET or Ottawa GGs pull off big upsets in men's basketball Final 8. CBC. The Ottawa GGs upset the UQAM Citadins with a score of 78-71 in the quarterfinals of the U Sports men's basketball Final 8. The GGs went on an 11-0 run in the third quarter to take control of the game. They will face the Queen's Gales in the semifinals. In other quarterfinal games, the University of Victoria Vikes were upset by the University of Laval Rouge ET or with a score of 75-69, and the Queen's Gales held off the Winnipeg West men with a score of 77-76. The Dalhousie University Tigers also advanced to the semifinals with a 68-51 victory over the Brock University Badgers. Community calendar of events. Yahoo! This article provides a compilation of various community events and announcements in the Coos Bay, Oregon area. Some of the events mentioned include meetings of the American Council of the Blind, a free preschool and Head Start program, dancing at the Reedsport Senior Center, the Odyssey 2024 Fitness Challenge, a Spanish conversational program at the Coos Bay Public Library, a St. Patty Day festival, a spring concert by the Bay Area Concert Band, a comedy show with Angel Ocasio, a health and wellness fair, a Parkinson's support group meeting, a chili and cornbread cook-off, the grand opening of a law firm, and a Pink Floyd tribute concert by Pigs on the Wing. These events and announcements offer a range of activities and resources for community members in Coos Bay. From support groups to educational programs, fitness challenges, and entertainment events, there is something for everyone. The article provides contact information and details about each event, allowing interested individuals to learn more and participate. Overall, this article serves as a community bulletin, sharing information about upcoming events and opportunities in the Coos Bay area. It highlights the diverse and engaging activities available to local residents, encouraging community involvement and participation. Number 2 Stanford rallies past number 13 Oregon State 66-57 to reach Pac-12 title game. Associated Press. Number 2 Stanford overcame a 16-point deficit to beat number 13 Oregon State 66-57 in the Pac-12 tournament semifinals. Hannah Jump led Stanford with 20 points, while Cameron Brink had a double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds. Stanford outscored Oregon State 23-8 in the third quarter and held off a late surge by the Beavers. Stanford will play in the Pac-12 championship game against either Southern California or UCLA. Spectacular, nature's neon lights caught on camera over WA Outback. ABC. A photographer in Western Australia has captured rare images of red sprites, large electrical discharges that occur high above thunderstorms. The photographer, J.J. Rao, was shooting a thunderstorm when he managed to snap several sprites. Rao described the sprites as appearing as a fuzzy grayish red blob to the naked eye, but when caught on camera, they can resemble various shapes. The images could help researchers further their understanding of this atmospheric event. Astrophysicist Brad Tucker said that capturing sprites on camera is rare and that Australia's access to dark skies allows for the study of these phenomena. Whiteman hires McKercher as regional manager. Yahoo! Consulting firm Whiteman has appointed Tom McKercher as regional manager of its Kalamazoo architecture team. McKercher has been an architect for 37 years and previously worked at the American Institute of Architects. Greg Monberg, director of architecture at Whiteman, said, his proven track record of success, coupled with his innovative approach to architecture, will be invaluable as we continue to expand our presence in the Kalamazoo region. Heavy rains flag water mold warning for local growers. Yahoo! Farmers in California have been warned about increased levels of the soil-borne bug and water mold called Phytophthora. The microorganism is not usually fatal but can cause rot and damage. Almond crops are the fourth most valuable commodity in California, so the warning is being heeded. Rain and heavy winds are predicted to increase the chances of the bug spreading. Farmers are being warned to avoid pruning during rainy periods and to wait for at least 10 to 14 days of dry weather. Hey there, folks. It's your friendly neighborhood 6 doctor here, bringing you the latest updates from around the world. Today, we've got some news on women entrepreneurs challenging bias, the underrepresentation of women in U.S. state legislatures, exciting sports victories, community events, and more. So, let's dive right in. First up, we have an article from the South China Morning Post highlighting how the post-COVID economy in Asia is giving rise to a new generation of women entrepreneurs. However, it also points out that many women-owned small and medium-sized enterprises lack access to financial services and face various challenges such as a lack of network, mentorship, and cultural biases. Nevertheless, there is hope as companies in Asia are catching up to diversity standards, and remote work is creating new opportunities for women. Moving on to the world of politics, the Associated Press reports that female representation in U.S. state legislatures remains low, especially among Democrats in the South. This disparity is a concern for lawmakers like Democrat Kayla Young and Republican Patricia Rucker, who believe that more women in politics would benefit their states. It's time for a change, folks. Now, let's talk sports. The Mississippi Rebels secured a victory over the Florida Gators in the SEC tournament quarterfinals, thanks to a career-high performance by Markeisha Davis. The Rebels will now face LSU in the semifinals, while South Carolina takes on Tennessee in the other semifinal game. Get ready for some intense matchups, folks. Shifting gears to local news, Lee's Summit, Missouri, is gearing up for city council, municipal judge, and board of education races. Additionally, there's a sales tax renewal question on the ballot that will impact the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals stadiums. Remember to make your voice heard, folks. In other local news, Oklahoma State University is planning to establish an innovation park, a research and technology development hub aimed at solving various challenges. The park will offer a range of facilities, including an analytics solutions center, drone education center, fitness options, and even a horticulture education center. Talk about innovation. Now, let's talk about the world of sports again. Golden State Warriors player Steph Curry is expected to make a full recovery from his ankle injury, bringing relief to fans and team officials. According to doctors, as long as his ankle remains stable, Curry's youth will work in his favor. So, let's keep our fingers crossed for a speedy recovery. In other news, a worker was unfortunately hit by a car at the University of Dayton Arena shortly before a basketball game between the Dayton Flyers and the VCU Rams. Thankfully, the worker's injuries were reported to be non-life-threatening. Let's hope for a quick recovery. Speaking of basketball, the number 25 Dayton Flyers pulled off an incredible comeback, overcoming a 17-point deficit to beat the VCU Rams in overtime. This victory capped off an undefeated regular season for the Flyers at the UD Arena. Talk about an impressive performance. Now, let's move on to the world of politics. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin has vetoed 8 pieces of legislation, including laws related to firearm transfers and parental notification of sexually explicit materials in schools. On the other hand, Youngkin signed 64 bills into law, including legislation upholding same-sex marriage. It's always interesting to see the different decisions made by lawmakers. Switching gears to the world of sports again, the Ottawa GGs and the University of Laval Rouge ET pulled off big upsets in the U Sports men's basketball Final 8. The GGs defeated the UQAM Citadins, while the Rouge ET emerged victorious against the University of Victoria Vikes. It's always exciting to see the underdogs come out on top. Now, let's take a look at some community events and announcements. The Coos Bay area in Oregon is buzzing with various activities, such as meetings, preschool programs, dancing, fitness challenges, festivals, concerts, comedy shows, support groups, and much more. There's something for everyone in the community, so make sure to check out these events and get involved. Lastly, we have a fascinating story from Western Australia, where a photographer managed to capture rare images of red sprites, electrical discharges that occur above thunderstorms. These images could contribute to further research and understanding of this atmospheric phenomenon. Kudos to the photographer for capturing nature's neon lights. And that's a wrap, folks. We've covered a wide range of topics today, from women entrepreneurs challenging bias to exciting sports victories and community events. Remember, your thoughts and opinions matter, so feel free to join the discussion and share your ideas. What are your thoughts on the rise of women entrepreneurs in Asia? How can we increase female representation in politics? And have you ever witnessed a rare atmospheric event like the Red Sprites? Let's hear what you have to say. This is the Sixth Doctor signing off, reminding you to stay curious and keep exploring the world around you. Until next time, folks. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6 do brief via email.